you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Good morning and welcome to Ray's Breakfast. # what are you saying this beautiful Tuesday morning. On this platform, we're dedicated to amplifying the vibrant voices of the youth towards matters that concerns us all. And you best know if it's of great importance, we're definitely talking about it. It's my absolute pleasure to anchor today's segment. My name is Oluchi Precious Omenka, and of course, I've got the ever amiable God's Beauty Israel here with me on the table. Good morning, best girl.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
When I was watching the show yesterday, Okiki called you. I've got my best girl here with me. Today, I'm calling you my best girl. I'm like,
okay.
You're really the hot cake this season.
Wow,
Everybody's just claiming you as best girl, best girl.
Oh, God.
So how are you doing?
I'm good.
How was the weekend for
grateful.
you? I know she already asked you yesterday, but I'm just saying you.
The weekend was beautiful. I told you about, the plan on Friday when we had the conversation.
Yeah, I can't remember the plan, but
I
know you did say something.
It was fun, having to be like around my girls and all.
I saw the status and updates. You doing cheers with the wine everywhere, looking beautiful. That's amazing. Yesterday, a friend of mine celebrated her birthday. She just recently moved from Ikorodu axis towards Yaba, and she was saying that the main reason she had to even move, she just finished from school like me, young adult trying to figure out our life. She said that she just needed to have an opportunity to move out. That Ikorodu was almost putting her in one box. There was no way to socialize. Sure. Her father is always busy. Her siblings are young. She's always doing this remote work, always in the house. So she needed that opportunity to socialize. And then she thought of, let me move to Yaba. And then maybe some of my friends that are still here, we can have opportunities to go out, just have fun, make memories, do things that are spontaneous. Because that's what is typical of young people like us. Sure. Now, talking about what's typical of young people, you cannot talk about young people and not talk about love. If you do not know, this is a Gen Z morning program where we bring to you trending issues, of course, but of course in the Gen Z way. This morning, something incredible happened.
Tell me.
In the bus where I was seated, because I was quite busy, I was very disoriented in that sense. But the people in front of me were playing love. You know, these 95 people that are doing lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey. I don't know why I didn't capture it. I would have loved to see what was really going on, the details of the love. So when they got down, the person that sat beside me and the two people that sat beside me, one was already cranky. She's like, which kind of thing people go they do early this morning? In my mind, I'm like, that's not nice. Don't be a pepper body towards love. Somebody telling me that person is either single or she just got her heart broken.
Yes.
Because why why is your body peppering you? It was so funny. And then I remembered one quote I saw yesterday to that said that I'm ready to date. I'm ready to enter into the pool of dating. Baby. What are the requirements? NIN, BVN, passport.
Oh my God.
And I was cracking up yesterday. But that's the highlight of everything that's been happening. I'm excited to be back here to discuss issues that are really, concerning to everyone. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll look through the headline stories this morning and, of course, usher you into the hot topic for today. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back, people, and thank you for sticking with us. Remember, your thoughts are highly important to all of our conversations, and we'd love you to comment. Our phone lines are open. You can reach us via 070-2500-7749 or 070-1424-2420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please head on now to the official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like, share the link, tune into channel 145 on your Go TV, and do not miss this for anything. We want to break the routine this morning. We usually always start with, the headline stories, banter on it a little, and I know I gave you a teaser about that, but I'd like us to go straight to the hot topic for today. We're discussing, the immigration plan, the resistance, and the effect on Nigerians that are traveling. And of course, the United Kingdom has long been a top destination for Nigerians seeking better educational and employment opportunities. Over the past few years, the UK's health and care workers visa route became a major pathway for thousands of Nigerians to gain lawful employment in the UK, especially in the care sector, a field facing significant staff shortages. However, the tides may be turning. In a recent announcement, the UK government revealed plans to ban or significantly restrict the care worker visa route starting from the coming month. And this move is part of a broader immigration tightening agenda. It aims to reduce net migration numbers and address concerns about abuse of the visa system. But for Nigerians, this policy shift could have far-reaching consequences. Students hoping to transition into employment, families who depend on remittances, and even the local health sector that rely on trained caregivers from abroad could all be affected. And the implications also raise questions about the UK's immigration policy priorities, its relationship with African nations, and how Nigeria can respond to the growing trend of restrictive migration policies from the global north. So to break this down and give us a deeper perspective, we're joined by Lanre Toluhi, a UK-based political and African affairs analyst, to help us unpack the policy, its intent, its ripple effect, and the broader message it sends to skilled and aspiring migrants from Nigeria and across Africa. Good morning, Mr. Larry.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mr. Larry. Do we have you here with us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I need you to speak a little bit louder so I can hear you clearly.
All right, good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning. I don't know if you came across the recent news and updates on the UK's government new policies on the care worker visa route. And we want to just firstly ask you to break down this new policy for us. What exactly is being changed or banned, and why is it now?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Well, first, is a law. It's not just a white paper, and we all know what white paper is. It is not a law yet. It's just a white paper that says, okay, this is the plan which the government want to implement. And if the government want to implement it, the white paper is out. It will now go to the parliament. The parliament will deliberate on it before it becomes a law. And what they're just
Mr. Larry, please, sorry to interrupt you, but could you please help remove the earpiece that you're using so we can hear you clearly? I couldn't get what you were saying a few minutes ago, please.
Can you hear me?
It's better now, much better.
Okay, right. So what I'm saying, it's what the Kobe is saying, it's just it's not a law, it's a white paper, and the white paper will first go into the Act of Parliament. It will be deliberated on, voted for, or voted on, and if it's still true, it becomes a law. That's what it is. And when it is that, then it does like the responsibility of any responsible government. We want to protect the life and property of its citizenry and ensure the country is safe for its people. And now what this is just saying is now every government or every responsible government in the world should first think of their citizen first before you think of the global village. His governance is local, and when you do look at things like that, they just want to make sure that every citizen or every British citizens or every Brits, like you want to call them, is firstly protected before you open it up to everyone in the world. And at the same time, they want to see that their community is safe. They want to see people not taking advantages of their open door policies or policy, like you might want to say, and all that. So for me, I think it is a two-way thing. It can be a bitter truth. It can be tough, but do they need it or don't they need it? Now, when it is fully implemented, that is where it can be tested. That is where we can say, okay, what is in it and what is not in it.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Larry. So I like the fact that you've, explained how this, that it's not even implemented yet, and, they're still deliberating on it and all. So now let's talk about the effects, because looking at it, I mean, it's something that I'm very sure is not a good news for Nigerians, especially like the students and all of that. So what exactly do you think we can do? Because like I said, I want you to, give us what the effects would be, and what do you think Nigerian students can do now to probably not really get the effect as much? Because again, everybody here in Nigeria wants to leave the country. Not everybody, I mean most of us, right? And that's the reason why there's this jackpot syndrome and brain drain and all of that we keep talking about, right? Everybody wants to leave the country. Now, I think some months ago we had both the UK governments also come out to say that there's a particular amount of money that you have to have even as a student before you can actually, come to school there. So, I mean, there's a whole lot about their policies now that they have been bringing into play, which is really not looking very nice for us as Nigerians. So let's talk about the effect and what you think we Nigerians can do to navigate.
It's a little bit tough. There's no two way about it. But it brings down to the Nigerian youth. You can see people like you've been busy trying to earn a living, do what is right, and demanding. I think it does bring out to the Nigerian populace or the Nigerian population to demand better governance or good governance from our government or from our political leaders. Now, in my opening statement, I said every responsible government will want to protect its citizenry. What is the Nigerian government offering Nigerians? Now, and I think it's a wake-up call for all Nigerians, all of us, no one is excluded. We should start asking our government to do what is needed and what is right by us. Because you can see most of these Western countries, their citizens don't even have a passport, national passports, because they don't have reason to leave Java or to travel anywhere. Because they've been told their country is the best in the world, they've been brought up to believe that society is better than every other society, and they are getting the dividend, they're getting the benefit of being a citizen of the country. Do we have that in Nigeria? The answer is no. So I think it is now a wake-up call for Nigeria, because when these nations will keep doing these things, because they need to protect their nation, whether we like it or not. You may want to say all kind of things, you may want to throw all kind of jobs, you might not do all kind of things. But the truth is Britain for Nigeria? The answer is no. Britain is for the British. So they have to protect themselves. So Nigerians should demand good governance from their government, from our government. We should ask them to represent us well and implement. And the truth is, delivering good governance is not rocket science. It's one of the easiest things to do. You just put the right policies in place, have the right structure, have leaders that actually really mean well for the people. And the people too need to stop taking all sorts of incentive, all this money they take, they make politics expensive in Nigeria, they collect all kind of things. We need to ensure that things like that stop. And we need to now start demanding for dividends of democracy. We could see what is happening in Mali. We could see how the young man is changing the narrative for Mali. We could see what the Rwanda government have done. Rwanda has now become the destination in Africa where everybody wants to invest and all that. We need to start asking ourselves, we have the population, we have the intellectual property, we have the intelligence people to do all these things. So why are we not? Because at the end of the day, we are having brain drain, we are having our students living in droves, and we are leaving to the UK, leaving to the US, leaving to Canada, to Australia, places like that. Why are we having this brain drain? Because there's no good governance, there's no right policies for the people. People don't even trust what is going to happen in the next hours in Nigeria. what is the worth of a human life in Nigeria? It is as good as a minus, not even a zero, it's on a minus. So what is the standard of living? Is on its minus to not even on zero. So these are the things we need to ask ourselves. These are the things we need to now start demanding good representation from our people. We need to start demanding better, better governance and policies for us. Yes, and that is needed. I don't mind you, if you look at what this they've done, what the British government is doing, or what they're proposing in the white paper, you could see they can start pinpointing that look, they're high-skilled workers like doctors, like engineers, and those skills they're already highlighting, and that is another policy. That's another way to drain our brain, because you now see now they will not tell you if you're a doctor you can come. Maybe they will need to write the collab or whatever they call it again. If you're an engineer you can come. So it is a way to even actually even drain our brain the more. And these are the things. And the other thing is for our students. Okay, if you're coming, fine. If you're coming, what are you offering? It is beyond people doing some kind of funny things that are not, we shouldn't be doing. It's about doing what is right, when it's right, and how it is being done. And our people need to now understand things, especially Nigerians, that our flippant attitude and our loud attitude we need to copy, because we are too loud, we are too flippant in the way we do things. Everybody is doing a social media channel. They come into the UK or they come to the US, anywhere they come into, somebody that have not even touched down the airport is already doing a YouTube of how to get the cheap house, how to get it, how to build the policies and all that. We need to start telling ourselves the truth. We are not doing what we need to do. We need to understand that as a people, we are we are entitled to get what we need to get from our nation, not from foreign nations.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Taking back or going back to what you have said, there's something you mentioned that, you know, the British are more concerned about their people. And I think that's how it is, you know, across different nations. The first priority would be your people. But we know that even at that, there's something called international relations and how you must, you know, learn how to balance ties and relationship with other countries. So I'm looking at this, you know, rule or this policy that is about to be implemented. Do you think that the UK is at risk of damaging its soft power and historical ties with African countries by implementing such exclusionary policies?
See, you know, if you've been following the way the UK has been doing, when everything is going all bad, the UK government has a way of blaming immigration, immigration. It has always been the policies in the Western world, so we all know that. Yeah, I know that a lot of people will tell you that it's going to affect their time. Are they cutting ties? Are they still going to do deals? Are they going to do uh, businesses or economic activities with these nations? Yes, they will. But you know, you can't say because you want to maintain peace with other nations and damage your own facility. They're already saying, because if you look at that white paper, you see and the things that they mapped out, they are saying that there were 930 something thousand people that migrated to the UK alone in 2023, all right? Now, and it's already putting a lot of stress on their infrastructure, from housing to health to social and all that. So if they're having such stuff, if that is what they're having, what we want to do is first, and don't forget, like I said, it is going to be final. You know, there was a time that post-study was taken out for anybody that comes to do masters or come to school. Immediately you are done, you get out. But now they've introduced this 2 years. Now they want to reduce it to 18 months. It is just probably just a policy just to see how they can improve what they have now, or to contain or to curtail the influx and then plan ahead. It just shows you that the government are believing data, they're looking at data and they're trying to improve on something. So I don't think it's going to affect their ties with Africa. What Africa should be doing is that Africa should be a place, a destination for every part of the world to want to come to. So what I will still say is our leaders in Africa needs to wake up. Because for me, it is a wake-up call for African leaders to do what is right. And not just African leaders, we as Africans is a wake-up call for us to start demanding what is due us from our leaders.
All right, thank you so much, Larry. It's funny how for every time that, you know, there's a problem in the Western country, they somehow attribute it to the fact that they have immigrants in the country. I mean, that's the reason why the United States and Donald Trump said with the whole law earlier this year, right? It's really not funny, to be honest. So let's talk about what the Nigerian government can actually do to support each and every individual or citizen of the country that has been affected by this policy. Is there something that, are there, measures that the Nigerian government can actually take to support each of those persons?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, my sister. That's what I was saying. The government needs to now start doing what is right. We need to now start implementing right policies, right rules. What do we need to do? We need to face our government need to face governance and leave all the shenanigans they are doing. I was on another platform more like I think almost a year ago when the government said they wanted to implement what they call it, net for what they call it, this loan for students, student loan. And I was criticizing it, and a lot of people had issues with me and said I was anti-government, but it was right. You see, how do you implement a student loan when even when the students are done doing their universities, they're going to Japa? How do you recover those funds? Our government have constantly put the cart before the wheel, and it shouldn't be so. The wheel should be in front of the cart, right? And we're always doing the wrong thing in the right time or in the right way. I don't know how to put it, or the right way. I don't know, but we always do it wrongly. So what people need to start doing, what our government needs to do now is to now start seeing that their first of all is to ensure that there's security. Where there's security, they provide enabling environment for our youth, because we can't take it away from Nigerians. We are tenacious set of people, we are intelligent set of people, we are skilled set of people, and we are blessed. So all we just need is an enabling environment. We really don't need the government to give us the funds. All we just need is the government to give us the playing ground, the level playing ground where we can strive. Believe me, if I were Nigerian, in a place of authority in Nigeria, what I would not start doing is not to ensure that this will affect a lot of our people. So what do we do? Have an environment where it's good security, power, and all that. Let the skills that Nigerians have learned, or those that will be affected, that will have to come back home. Their minds, because it's just like I said, it's a white paper, it has not been voted. So if it is voted and all that, or because for UK, it may actually skip through, and it may skip through. It's a 50-50. It will never be too sure to now say, okay, once this affected them and they are back home, how do they now integrate? Because they need to integrate. And how can they integrate? Is by being able to put all the skills and abilities that they've acquired in the Western world, bring it to Nigeria and start having things done. And believe me, if there's an enabling environment, if the government can provide enabling environment, you don't need them to provide the money. No government can provide all the job for its people anywhere in the world. They just give the enabling environment for these skills, for this little investment to strive and to survive. And that's what we need. And that's what the Nigerian government need to do.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lanre. We have some questions here, but we'll have to take this short break. When we come back, we'll look at more, strategies to be able to, balance all of these policies that we're seeing. And after that, we'll take a newspaper. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
I describe myself as a polyhumanitarian, someone who believes politics should be rooted in love for country and empathy for its people. I'm thrilled to introduce to you Politics Uncensored, a show dedicated to tackling the political challenges that matter most to Nigerians. This is more than just a show. It's a space for honest, unfiltered conversations about the issues that shape our nation. From policy reforms to elections, leadership tussles to governance at all levels, and the overall political landscape in Nigeria, we will dive deep into how politics is impacting our everyday lives. So join me on this journey as we challenge the status quo, spark dialogue, and work together to build a brighter future for Nigeria. Let's make our voices heard and drive the change we deserve.
Welcome back, people, and thank you for sticking with us. Today's topic is quite interesting, and the topic is UK travel restrictions and their effect on Nigerian students and workers. We've been seeing all over the news the new policies that are going to be implemented. Some people are already agitated by the outcome of this kind of policies, and we have Mr. Lanre join us to open up this conversation much more. And the last point of discussion is where Mr. Nara is letting us see that the government has a role to play to ensure that it takes, its due diligence to allow people, have the right policies, even right here in Nigeria, to help us even become better. But I have a question here from someone who just dropped, and it goes to us. Mr. Lara, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I wanted to confirm that you can hear us clearly. So here, there's always a problem with information, especially when people need to travel outside of the country. Maybe because sometimes it's out of pressure and there are different people that parade themselves as experts, to give them visas and all. So sometimes they fall into trap. So this person is asking, how can Nigerians verify the authenticity of immigration documents and avoid falling victim to scams? And how can Nigerians also stay informed about changes to immigration rules and policies in various countries?
Yeah, thank you. You see, even this white paper you saw is just as a reader, because if you see, it's affecting the care workers more, because you saw that most Nigerians gave money to some of these agencies, and the agents gave them what they call certificate of sponsorship. They got here, there's no job and all that. A lot of Nigerians are falling victim to that. But you see, this Nigerians can stop falling victim. We should read. There are there's this there's this popular saying that if you want a black man, if you want to sell a black man, just put it in a book and give him the book. He probably won't read it, and he will take it to who's going to buy him, because we don't read. Every information we need or you need is in the government website. Any government, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, is in their official immigration website. Just go to their website, type in what you're looking for. You get all your information, and they'll tell you what you need to do. But there's one person I know that almost fell victim for that. That because gave up visa to be filled for a friend to fill a visa application for her. She came in as a student, just for her to want to renew her visa and change it to something they're asking her for a dependent, because the guy that actually filled the form for her said she had a dependent, probably took money from them and all that. She has to go get a lawyer, write to the Home Office before that could be rectified, and she could prove that she really have a dependent. Now, just imagine if that supposed dependent had been a criminal and be committing a lot of crime, they would have tied it to her. All we need to do is go to this government site. And some of this government site, if you think, okay, you can read or it's so cumbersome, there are agencies that are certified, that you know they are certified. We need to stop these cut corners. If you don't go to these cut corners, the shortcut and all that, do what is right. We won't fall victim, because the only way we want to know what we are doing is right is if we feel it ourselves. But if we don't want to feel it ourselves, we should go to these other agencies that we know certified, not the guys on the street or the guys that we see in front of embassies.
So let's talk a bit about this whole JAPA thing, right? Most of the times, if you listen to people that want to leave the country, which is something we already know, you hear them say, oh, the kind of, they'll say the grass there is more greener than here in Nigeria, you know. So now let's talk about, you know, alternative countries that we Nigerians can actually go to, given the whole strict policy now that we see, you know, coming to play in the UK. What other countries, even here in Africa, anyone at all, that you think is good, you know, the country that I think would actually give us the employment opportunity that we need, given the kind of country that we are in. Let's not twist things. Let's say it as it is. You get what I'm saying? So what other country would you, you know, prefer?
The grass is always greener on the other side. By the time when I get to the other side,
I
it's not
mean,
greener from where you're coming from, right? Because the truth is there is no other place that got to accept the truth. Every other way will always look greener, but when you come there, you now weigh the pros and the cons. At times everywhere has their own negativity and everywhere has their own positivity. Believe me, with our population, there's no place we want to go because anywhere we go to, even if we think it's good, by the time 20 million Nigerian gets to that place, there will be trouble. Do you get? So I think the best place for us is for us to demand good governance because the truth is, home is always home.
right.
I don't let anyone deceive you, don't let anyone tell us anything the way home is always home. If you have better things, if you have our government doing what is right, like I just told you, most Western countries, more than 70% of their populace, citizens, don't even have a passport because they don't have reason to have a passport. And I'm telling you, it became to 70 maybe in the last 10 years. Before the last 10 years, 90% to 95 don't even have a passport because they don't see reason to. So what we need to do is demand for good governance from our people. I know a lot of people say, oh, it is easy for you to say since you are not there, but believe me, I don't think there's anywhere because even anywhere we go to, the Australia that everybody is going to, and the Canada everybody is going to, I'm sure you have friends in Canada and Australia, they'll have told you stories. You have friends in America, they will have told you stories. They'll tell you, come to Sweden, they have stories. Come to Germany, all of them have stories. The truth is, no matter how tough it is in other places, or no matter how tough it is in Nigeria, there you have a lot of people in Nigeria, based in Nigeria, are doing way better than anybody in any part of the world. And we have people in any part of the world too, with all the stringent policies and all that, doing very well. So I think it's about us demanding good governance from our people because that is where we are from and that is where is our ancestral home. And if we demand good governance from our people, we can now be coming for holidays. We can now be thinking of investing in other places to have international connect. Yes, I think the best place for us is for us to be home.
Thank you so much, Mr. Larry. You know, from our conversation, you're someone that emits a lot of hope, and you seem to be very positive with the current state of the nation, demanding for good governance. And I would totally agree with that because eventually that's the long-term solution that can help balance all of this out. But we're looking at something that is imminent. Like, it's going to happen, most likely, even though it has not been, you know, put into law yet, but it's in the books, in the discussion. So we're wondering what the alternatives would be for people who might feel stuck with this kind of policies, because good governance is something we always talk about on this table. It's something we've been talking about for years, and we'll keep talking about it. So if that good governance long-term solution is not happening, for people who might feel stuck with this kind of initiative and policies from the UK, what alternatives can they be looking about in terms of maybe a career pivot, or just give us things that can help people become less agitated? And I want to link this to what Solomon Buchi put on his page a few hours ago. He said the UK government has declared in their immigration white paper that migrants can only apply for permanent residence after 10 years of living in the UK and no longer 5 years. So it even gets better at the end of the day. So what alternatives can people use for the short term before that good governance eventually happens?
Okay, alternative is self-development, upgrade. Like I said, you know, even in the white paper, for those that have read the white paper, you see they talked about skilled workers, highly skilled, not just care, highly skilled. They're talking about doctors, engineers, lawyers. And there are all these, we should continue to learn. So the alternative is, if you're dependent, okay, you had gone to the UK, you had gone, yeah, you're in the UK because they're talking about UK, you had come to the UK, you're independent, and you probably, okay, your spouse or whoever you're depending on is coming for as a skilled worker or is coming as a student and you don't have the qualification, my brothers, my sisters, please upskill your skills, upskill. Try to, now when you do skill upskill, you try to enlarge your horizon to believe in what you need to do and try to live right, because even seeing that white paper they're already talking about if you have any criminal stuff and all that. And now it's not that even if you are convicted, whether you are convicted or not convicted, so I have a criminal case, it delays that. So you try to live right and all that, because those are the things, those are the alternatives I would say. And another thing is for the alternative, because it's looking like you guys want to just need to say, okay, this is another country you should go to. Believe me, I don't think I've thought about it. Which other country can people run to? Which other people can people now start migrating to? I've not been able to get any, because every country in the Western world, which I know you guys are following up because it's your work to follow up on stuff like this, they are tightening up their immigration policies. So if they keep tightening up these immigration policies, what do we offer people? What do we tell our people to do? We can only tell our people to upgrade their skills, make themselves relevant, because in all this, the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, we still need people that are skilled to come and help their economy. And if we upgrade on ourselves, it doesn't have to be IT, it can even be in law, it can be in health, you can be a doctor, improve yourself, become a surgeon, become a consultant in what you want to become. If you're an engineer, make sure you're the best there is in your work, wherever you're doing that. People will sort you out. If you're a lecturer, make sure you are up to date with the skills and all that. So these are things, and like I said, our people are intelligent, our people are innovative. I think the innovative spirit of Nigerians as it's going to be, we'll be surprised what will happen that this will not even affect Nigerians the way it is. And legally, you see Nigerians still stay back because our people are innovative and we know how to adapt to every situation.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Larry. It's been a very interesting conversation with you this past few minutes. Thank you for joining us on our show today. We hope to have you again. And there's something really key with everything you've mentioned so far. The solution is two-faced. We're looking at the government's role and our role as individuals to ensure that, we're not held bound by certain policies that, the UK and, immigration will eventually latch on us. So thank you so much for joining us today. And this is where we wrap up our conversation with you. All right, God's beauty, it has been very interesting so far. I want to ask you if you have plans to travel anytime soon.
No.
Or you're looking at all these policies. When I saw that Solomon Buchi's own, I was quite amazed that, some people have this whole marriage plan to where they plan that, I'm starting my life with my partner elsewhere, and then maybe after 5 years we get our citizenship or whatever it is, and the policies just makes it a bit tight. It's really funny. But I think one thing people should take home is make your research before, because one thing I've also noticed, I know I'm wrapping at this point, is people sometimes travel without knowing what they plan to do when they travel. And it's a major problem that we have. So even when some of these policies, holds us bound, you don't have an option, an exit option in that sense. You're like, where do I even start from at this point? So I think people should have a lot of options if they're thinking of, migrating, because that is one thing about humans. Humans will always migrate. We'll move from one place to the other, but you must know what is ahead of you and the opportunities or the consequences or whatever it is generally. But I'm glad we've had this conversation, and maybe during the course of the week, we'll open this up much more. We have to take our newspaper, but we'll do this after the break. We'll just banter a little around the international papers and the local papers, and afterwards, we'll wrap today's show. So please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
Life is made up of moments. Some that fill us with joy, others that test our strength. Welcome to Heartlights. This is our space to explore the highs and lows of human connection, the love, the heartbreak, and resilience that shapes our life. From relationships to friendships, parenting to partnerships, and so much more. Every week, we share stories and conversations that define us, navigating love, separations, the struggles of parenting, dealing with anxiety and managing the pressures and stress of life. Real conversations that bring us closer, helping us heal, grow, and connect. So join me Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. for Heartlines, the show where we'll connect hearts, have real conversations with real people, one story at a time.
Welcome back to Ways Breakfast Show. Hashtag What Are You Saying? The youthful breakfast show that open up matter that really concerns us. Before we went on the break, we had some comment from Osas, who said, "Good morning, beautiful Ways ladies." Good morning, Osas. "I don't blame this country. Hopefully, this will lead Nigerians to focus on their home, voting better and holding them accountable, and stop taking 5,000 naira, I guess, for 4 votes." All right, and the other comment here is Japa has become a crutch for Nigerians, and you're absolutely right, Osas. Thank you for commenting, and of course we still have some things packed for you today. So let's start with the international papers.
All right, straight into the Guardian newspaper. By the top left, we have Kazuo Ishiguro. "I have aspiration for my stories to become like fairy tales or myth." By the top right, as above the masthead, we have bananas in peril. Climate crisis, threat to Britain's favorite fruit. Then main headline, which is something just relating to what we just talked about today, which is Prime Minister accused of echoing far-right rhetoric in immigration speech. Then by the middle section, we have Hamas frees last living American hostage. And by the right column, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have Atwood tells of fears over dogma and censorship. So let's just, throw lights on what exactly is going on in the UK, right? Honestly speaking, I used to think this whole immigration thing was a United States problem together with Trump. I didn't know Starmer. Honestly, and if I tell you where I placed Starmer in terms of support and all of these things, he always sounds very genuine and all of that.
So
I think
does this change your perception towards Trump and some of his policies, that sometimes it's about the Americans and the Americans? Because eventually, every government is just doing what they think is best for their nation.
Yeah, I actually agree. But again, you can see the angle Starmer is actually coming from with his policies. He's not even... just like, I guess said earlier, it's more like in the white paper, it has not been put on yet. And it's something that he has left for everybody to talk about. What do you think about it? Let's weigh the pros and cons.
Nah, I don't think
unlike Trump. No, it's a lie. Trump just hit it back. If you like, no, take him, that's your business. That's Trump. So they're two different leaders, you see. But on this matter, yeah, he has come out to talk about the whole immigration thing, and many people are saying it that the way he's coming from, the angle he's coming from rather, is making it look like he is not welcoming immigrants. And honestly speaking, that's something we don't want. So it's one thing to actually come out to say that, oh, we want to, take out certain visa rights, want to ensure that our borders are stricter and all of that. But at the same time, you should be able to expatiate or tell those people why. Do you understand? Because the way he came about it was like, oh, the problems that they are facing right now in the UK is because of the immigrants and all of that. And honestly speaking, many people are now seeing it as discrimination in that sense. But I just hope that he comes out to really tell us what exactly is going on. Do you get what I'm saying? Let's understand it from his own aspect and say, okay, you know what? Maybe it's true. It's time for us to go to our country and rest more. Then we'll come back.
Eventually, that would be the answer. That would be the answer. Yeah, because at this point, go to your country.
But again, it's not our fault 100%. If you are in a country that is working, you will not be in the UK. It's the truth. Yes, if you have an educational system that is working fine, where immediately you finish working, you get a job, not the one that you have to start selling a car first before you now start getting that job, when you have to meet one uncle for favoritism and nepotism to actually play its role. Come on.
Or the one... It's a very dicey one, honestly. This whole jackpot thing has been a conversation that people have had over time.
Yeah.
Let's not even talk about the health sector. Imagine a sector as critical as the health sector in Nigeria, having the largest number of people migrate to another nation to offer the same skills that are needed in this nation elsewhere. So there are a lot of questions to ask, really. Why aren't things working for us as we need them to work? That's making us, take the other option. But that's all we have for the international papers, right?
Yes.
Let me take you through the national papers. Punch has it here, the major headline reading, 54.9 trillion naira budget. Federal government, World Bank at odds over funding strategy. Banks fear government may resort to CBN emergency funds, false budget parameters, ministers counters. Bielsa set to immortalize Clark amid tribute from Jonathan. We also see UK unveils plans to slash annual immigration by 100,000. Lagos APC aspirant protests today over local government primaries. We have the other story reading, push to crash drug prices, gains FEC approval. And above that, we see restructuring. Federal government deploys special teams to underperforming discos. Oil drilling to resume in the north, NNPCL. Why Tinubu will defeat PDP again in 2027, says Wike. Very tough comments there from Wiki, but let's hold on the whole 2027 gist. I'm tired of hearing it at this point. But let me give you this story about the whole budget stuff. So the World Bank has described Nigeria's 2025 federal budget as overly ambitious, warning that the federal government may be forced to turn to the Central Bank of Nigeria's ways and means facility to finance likely revenue shortfalls. The bank gave this warning on Monday during the public presentation of its latest Nigeria Development Update report titled Building Momentum for Inclusive Growth in Abuja. President Bola Tinubu signed the 2025 Appropriation Act into law, approving a record budget of 54.99 trillion naira, the highest in Nigerian history. The budget was raised from the initial proposal of 49.7 trillion naira submitted to the National Assembly. The fiscal plan makes provision for 13.64 trillion naira in recurrent expenditure, 23.96 trillion naira for capital projects, 14.32 trillion naira for debt servicing, and 3.65 trillion naira for statutory transfers, while projecting a deficit of 13.8 trillion naira to be financed through domestic and external borrowing. It says here that the budget assumption include a crude oil benchmark of $75 per barrel, oil production at 2.6 million barrels per day, an average exchange rate of 1,400 naira per dollar, and an inflation target of 15%. Speaking at the event, the World Bank's leader economist for Nigeria, Mr. Alex Sinet, said that despite strong revenue gains recorded in 2024, Nigeria's 2025 budget assumptions remain optimistic and may prove difficult to meet. Again, we are at it with our whole budgeting, and I wonder who really gives the financial advice at this point. Because this is just way beyond, is way overboard. And I like the clear statement that World Bank is using. He said that we are being too ambitious. You know, when somebody is ambitious without a plan. Because looking at this whole story, let me take it to you again. This whole budget is banking on oil selling at $75 per barrel production at 2.6 million barrels a day. With inflation magically dropping to 15%. This is sounding like a whole lot of hope. And the math is not mathing, using the Gen Z term. Because how can you be planning a budget based on what you think will eventually happen with the oil sector and inflation, when currently we have not even dealt with that? The whole consequence of this is that we're still going to fall back to our old ways of borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. So at the end of the day, how do we really come about this whole budgeting? Who gives the approval? Of course, we know how it goes to, but who really sits down to critique this thing before it's signed? So I think at this point, looking at the fact that it's just ambitious and overly optimistic, we are looking at our present situation. I think they should follow the World Bank's advice at this point to really consider things before deciding to do what they want to do. But let me take you quickly through the Punch newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, pardon me. It says here that World Bank admits Nigeria's economic progress, says prices remain high. UTME jumped to address technical issues as 8,391 candidates threaten class action. Why candidates anxious as IPOB declares sit at home in May 30 in the southeast suspension, court hears contempt and orders application in Natasha's suit today. NNPCL to resume oil drilling in North as production threatens 2025 budget. Lagos LP suspends chair, dissolves ward executive as a Abure faction tackles OT. A federal government to overhaul underperforming discourse amid lingering IBEDC takeover. And a number of news here. But the one I'll just talk about briefly, I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but students are not coming out to want to sue JAMB. It gets funny at the end of the day.
That sounds so funny.
It was so funny. So, their claim is that a lot of things happened and it's not only our fault. So, we're coming to take JAMB to the books, the law. And I think the Guardian just painted that a bit. And I think they have someone that is fueling the whole lawsuit and all. Let's see how that goes. And I'm wondering, I saw yesterday that somebody had an incredible score amidst this whole terrible mass failure. I don't know if it's about 370 or 380, like very incredible. He had 90-something in math, 98 in physics. And I'm like, see brain now. This brain had this. But imagine if this lawsuit works and then JAMB has to like take another examination again. What are people that passed? Are they going to have to rewrite the examination after scaling through and all of that? So there are a lot of things to consider.
I think that would be depending on, for the people that failed will probably be the ones to now do all of this. Because trust me, the people that are filing or whatever are the people that failed. And we don't know whether they read or not. So, honestly, I'm actually open to, we having another exam.
Another examination to see.
So we see the house, their strength, and probably they're not the ones dancing on TikTok. You understand?
Okay.
I mean,
that's
fingers crossed.
I
can't wait.
We have another comment here. And Praise is still talking about the whole Jackpot stuff. She said the issue of Jackpot in Nigeria, especially in the health sector, is crazy. Yeah. At a point, I honestly wished I did something health-related in university because it's almost a straightway ticket to Jackpot. Absolutely true. Praise. So that's where we wrap up today's segment. But we can't do that without giving a warm shout-out to the one, the only, Jimmy Neutron. I call him Jimmy Neutron. I really don't know Jimmy's full name. I know it's Mr. Jimmy, but the second name, I don't know, sir. You forgive me. But today is his birthday. Our wonderful director. In fact, he's everything. He's
everything.
He's literally jack of all trades, technical director,
sound engineer,
floor
manager.
Call it.
He's even our cook. Anchors. You cannot take the cook out too. Just last week, explanation upon explanation. No. Jimmy is a
daddy. He's always there for us, and I wish you a very, very happy birthday. We have another comment here. Okay, Charlene Edwards says, yes, so the fact that they are not caring about the health of the citizens. Meanwhile, politicians fly abroad for medical care. There's something about the comments today. I think a lot of people are angry with the nation again.
Of course they will.
So all of their comments is still about politicians and accountability. But let's keep, the comments aside and let's wish Mr. Jimmy a happy birthday. God's beauty wants to sing for
I didn't say lie.
Let's sing together.
Can you hear my voice? It's not even very nice.
It's the thoughts that count. 1, 2, ready, go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
He's a jolly good fellow.
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow.
All of us.
My God.
I don't know if it's going to
happy birthday,
in front of everyone. But we love you, Mr. Jimmy. Thank you for making our show a success every single day.
Yes,
and we wish you the best of the best this new year.
Happy
thank you to all.
Jimmy. Look at him.
Come on, dance for us now, Mr. Jimmy. Our fans are ready to see you.
Oh,
but
my
of course,
God.
you can send him your birthday wishes on our, YouTube
social media pages,
across all social media platforms, and we'll relay your wishes to Mr. Jimmy Neutron. Thank you very much for joining us on our show today. Tomorrow is our mental health segment, and the month of May is actually mental health awareness. So we're bringing you tips to survive in this nation of ours. Till tomorrow again, it's Ray's Breakfast. Stay sharp.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Prime Time. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?